Welcome back to the Daily Crypto Roundup. If you're new here, hit follow now so you don't miss tomorrow's setup. If you've been with us from the start, you already know how this works. Quick, sharp, and focused on what really moves markets. Today's session has one theme: momentum into resistance. Bitcoin has broken into new highs. Ethereum is holding strong near 4,500. And regulators and analysts are shaping what could be another huge week for crypto. Let's get into the numbers first, then talk about what to expect heading into tomorrow. Bitcoin is trading around $124,000, up about 2% in the past 24 hours. Ethereum is holding close to 4,500, up just over 1%. Binance Coin is near 1,150, also up around 1%. Solana trades at about $230, up 1.5%. XRP sits just under $3, up nearly 2%. Cardano's at 84 cents, up slightly on the day. Dogecoin is up 2.3% at 25 cents. Toncoin is trading at around $2.80, up 0.5%. Tron sits near 34 cents, up a fraction. And Avalanche rounds out the top 10, holding at $30, up just under 1%. It's a solid green board overall, showing confidence as we move into tomorrow's session. Now let's talk about why it's happening. Bitcoin ripped through 125,000 to print a fresh all-time high before cooling slightly. ETFs inflows remain relentless, and traders are calling this the return of the debasement hedge narrative. Investors buying hard assets as a shield against government debt and a softening dollar. Institutions are clearly back at the table. Analysts at Fundstrat said the move marks the strongest institutional conviction since the early ETF's approval window. And that line alone tells you where the market's head is. Every time Bitcoin dips, ETFs vacuum it right back up. Ethereum is where rotation could come next. Citi raised its year-end target to 4,500, pointing to stronger inflows into spot ETFs and improved developer activity on Layer 2 networks. Traders are watching whether Ethereum can finally break the pattern of lagging Bitcoin and start leading some of the altcoin strength into the weekend. The Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio has been quietly firming, a sign that big money is looking beyond just Bitcoin. Analysts from CryptoQuant added that Ethereum's on-chain volumes look almost identical to late 2020 conditions, right before the last major alt season. That kind of historical comparison tends to get traders excited, and you can feel that optimism building again. Solana continues to steal headlines, and not just for price. According to new on-chain data from CoinShares, Solana's daily active wallets just hit 1.3 million, its highest level since 2021. That's a massive milestone showing that Solana's network activity is finally back to full health. The surge has come mainly from gaming projects and DeFi applications, both seeing double-digit growth in transactions and users. CoinShares analyst James Butterfill called it the most sustained organic user growth outside of Bitcoin this quarter, adding that what's happening on Solana looks like the groundwork for the next generation of decentralized finance. When analysts start using language like that, it tends to echo through markets. And it's part of why Solana has been so consistently strong lately. If network activity keeps growing, price tends to follow, and that's exactly what traders are watching for tomorrow. XRP has also been on traders' radars thanks to renewed chatter about new payment corridors. Ripple has reportedly been exploring partnerships in Latin America, and although no official confirmations have dropped yet, the speculation alone has pushed daily volume higher. XRP is hovering just below $3, and if Bitcoin can stay above 123,000, that $3 level becomes a magnet again. Traders have been calling for a breakout toward 320 if we get another strong day tomorrow. Dogecoin is doing exactly what it always does when markets get optimistic. It comes to life. It's up a couple of percent today, trading around 25 cents, and retail chatter around Elon Musk's potential integration of Dogecoin payments through X continues to float around social media. Nothing official yet, but even the rumor mill seems to be enough to light up the meme coin crowd every time Bitcoin makes a new high. Avalanche and Cardano are quietly rebuilding momentum. Avalanche is holding around $30, with analysts noting that its DeFi sector is seeing a slow but steady pickup. Cardano remains in the mid-80-cent range, with active addresses increasing for the third straight week. None of that makes front-page headlines, but it tells you this market isn't one-dimensional anymore. It's broadening again. Before we move forward, a quick but essential reminder. When markets get exciting like this, the biggest mistake traders make is leaving their assets sitting on exchanges. Don't be one of them. I keep my long-term crypto on a Ledger hardware wallet. It's offline, it's mine, and it's safe no matter what the market does. Whether Bitcoin's at 50,000 or 125,000, my coins stay where they belong. With me. There's a link in the description if you haven't got one yet. Seriously, get one before the next pullback teaches the lesson for you. Back to the markets. One of the most talked about stories today was from Bloomberg. Analysts calling Bitcoin's latest surge the debasement trade. The idea is simple. When governments keep printing, deficits balloon, and traditional safe havens like gold stagnate, capital moves into scarce digital assets instead. Bitcoin's fixed supply makes it the modern counterpart to gold, but with far greater liquidity and global access. Bloomberg reported that treasury funds and family offices have been increasing allocations quietly over the last 2 months. That's how institutional runs begin, quietly, before retail even notices. Tomorrow's key focus points will revolve around whether Bitcoin can consolidate above 123,000 without another sharp pullback. Analysts at Glassnode noted that short-term holders are beginning to realize profits again, but long-term holder supply remains near record highs, meaning the conviction is still there. Ethereum traders will be watching to see if inflows into the ETFs continue, because any slowdown could pressure the 4,500 level. For altcoins, the question is whether the rotation narrative kicks in. That moment when capital starts chasing the next performers beyond Bitcoin. Heading into tomorrow, there are also a few macro catalysts worth watching. US inflation data is due later in the week, and traders are already pricing in volatility around it. If the numbers come in soft, Bitcoin could push toward 130,000 before the weekend. If they surprise to the upside, we might get a short-term correction that shakes out over-leveraged longs before the next leg higher. Either way, the market is in what analysts call price discovery with conviction, which means dips are likely to be shallow and fast. Another under-the-radar trend is the re-emergence of corporate treasuries, buying Bitcoin again. Small and mid-cap firms are quietly allocating, following in the footsteps of companies like MicroStrategy and Metaplanet. A few of these announcements might land this week, and every time they do, it sends a psychological signal that this isn't just a speculative trade anymore, it's becoming corporate policy. That narrative could define the next few months. On the technical side, Bitcoin's resistance sits just above 125,000, but traders are already eyeing the next leg toward 130. Ethereum's key zone is 4,400. Stay above that, and bulls will try to press for 4,600. Solana's trigger level is 230. XRP's is $3 even. Dogecoin just needs to stay above 25 cents to keep momentum alive. If all of those hold through tomorrow's close, we'll likely see a strong continuation week ahead. So where does that leave us as we wrap up today? The short answer, this is the healthiest market structure we've had in months. ETFs demand remains steady. Liquidity is flowing back into majors. Regulators are finally using the tools at their disposal, instead of blanket bans, and retail is waking up again. That mix usually creates the perfect environment for volatility and opportunity. Whether you're an investor, trader, or just watching from the sidelines, this is the kind of setup you wait for. Bitcoin's dominance means it will keep setting the tone, but Ethereum is where the storytelling happens. Developers, institutions, and analysts are aligned for the first time in ages. The next 24 hours will tell us whether Ethereum's quiet strength turns into leadership or remains supportive. Either way, tomorrow's session could define how the rest of October plays out. That's your daily crypto roundup. Bitcoin at new highs, Ethereum holding strong, Solana hitting new user records, and the market gearing up for another pivotal day. Don't forget to follow so you're ready for tomorrow's update. Stay sharp, stay safe, and we will see you at the top.